In this film, Tozkoparan İskender is at your age. Do you want to be friends with him? Guys, I'm İskender. I'm known as the father of archers. I was born in Istanbul in the 15th century. Would you like to know me better? In my lifetime, children grew up riding horses and learning archery. I used to compete and play games with the arrows we made with my friends. I had a great talent for wrestling and sword swinging. I loved these games so much that I would play every day and improve myself more. I was an excited, impulsive child who loved his country. When I was 9 years old, my father brought me to Istanbul and enrolled me in the novice boys' barracks. Because children who wanted to be janissaries in the Ottoman army were first raised in the novice boys' barracks. I also had a district discipline and upbringing here. One day I turned 11. They took me to the archer's hearth. Shortly after I came to the hearth, I gained success with my grasp of the bow and shooting the arrow, which was far superior even than the master's. At that time, a competition was held at the Istanbul Kemankeşler Ocağı, which trained the best archers for the Turkish army. I also participated in this competition. Since everyone else is older and bulkier than me, I drew attention to myself. Thousands of spectators came to the area where the competition would be held. I was eagerly waiting the start of the competition. After the competitors took their places, Yıldırım Baba, one of the oldest archers, gave a signal and the race started. Throughout the race, Yıldırım Baba kept his eyes on me. He also saw himself in me, as he had been doing archery since he was a child. Finally, it was my turn. I went to the area where I was going to shoot the arrow. Everyone's eyes were on me. I gathered all my strength. I grasped my bow with my own faith. I placed the arrow on the arrowhead and took aim. Yıldırım Baba gave the signal. I stretched my bow so strongly that it flew away as the dust broke off and stuck to the target 846 meters away. Like everyone else, I was very surprised. Yıldırım Baba, who was amazed by my power and mastery, came to me. This dust-breaking boy has outdone all of you. From now on, let this lion cub be named Tozkoparan. Even the best archers in the world were throwing up to 500 meters. A landmark stone was erected here to document this record I broke. I invite you to see this monument in Istanbul Ok Meydanı. 2 years had passed since this race. I worked hard during that time, became a fierce wrestler, swordman, and immeasurable warrior in archery. Since I was the youngest of the archer hearth, my name was in the news. In May 1499, our Sultan Bayezid II organized an expedition to the Venetian castle in Lepanto and Peloponnese. According to Turkish tradition, 40 archers were chosen for this expedition. I was among these archers. On the Pasha ship, we surrounded the enemy and shot arrows at the enemy throughout the war. I was very happy to take part in this war. I could not stand still from my joy. I was fighting with all my heart. With my cheerfulness and good manners, I won the love of those on the Pasha ship. They treated me not like a small child, but like a big valiant. I was fighting just to the right of the Pasha. 2 Venetian boats approached our ship, shooting arrows at the Turkish sailors. The naval expedition became serious within an hour. I wasn't afraid. On the contrary, I was more ambitious against the enemy and was fighting for our country. The ships were clashing, fighting almost hand to hand. Davut Pasha kept an eye on the situation of the Turkish galleons and gave orders without stopping. Our navy was stormed in the Aegean Sea. Towards the end of July, we reached the Peloponnese coast. Off the island of Spienza, we encountered the Venetian fleet of 200 ships. On the morning of July 28th, the great naval battle began. As the Turkish and Venetian ships approached each other, Davut Pasha took his place in the captain's cabin. We surrounded the 40 archers and drew our bows. We shielded our chests against the arrow to be shot at our ship and cannonball to be thrown. Antonio Grimani, the commander of the Venetian navy, had his eyes on our ship. He thought that if he could destroy our ship, the entire Turkish navy would be dissolved. He attacked the ship of our Captain Pasha in the most difficult time of the war. The Venetians hooked up and started jumping on our ship. I saw a soldier among them lying on the ground and crawling, secretly reaching the starboard mast. Suddenly, our Davut Pasha cried out, "The enemy attacked the starboard. If this starboard goes, the soldier's order will be broken." At that moment, the Venetian grabbed our starboard and jumped into the sea. He was swimming towards their own ship. Immediately, with great courage, I left the bow and arrow in my hand and followed him. I took 3 or 4 strokes quickly and retrieved our starboard from the warrior's hand. Clinching the rope that hung behind me, I climbed onto our ship. Pasha was looking at me in surprise. I said, "I gave up my duty and left, but the Pasha ship could not have been without a banner. Here I brought it back." He congratulated me with great happiness. All the soldiers said they were delighted and amazed at my courage. We returned home with victory. In the archer's hearth, the courage I showed became popular and epic. Thanks to the discipline and training I received, I have achieved great success. I always listened to the advice of my elders. I worked hard. I never gave up on what I wanted to achieve. Thus, I became known as Tozkoparan İskender in Turkish history. I have 10 records that I have broken in various places such as Rumelia, Anatolia, Damascus and Egypt. The most important one is my shot at Archery range in Istanbul Ok Meydanı. This throw of 846 meters is the world record. Friends, do not be afraid to work and achieve. When you focus with all your courage on what you want to achieve, you will see what you can do. Did you know that the name of Tozkoparan comes from Fatih's archer? Tozkoparan İskender Pasha, who shot his arrows kneeling down and lifting dust from the ground, with the effect of the arrows he shot from low and his tomb in Cerrahpaşa.